Well, I guess today would be a good day to check for leaks. Well, I guess you can see the bad news. Yep, still dripping. So I'm pretty sure it's not coming around the windows. I mean, if you come up here, I don't know, you might not be able to see it. Maybe you can see something there. A little bit of wetness, enough to get something on my finger, and just enough to barely, well, there you can see it a little bit better. But if it's sealed around the windows, I'm pretty sure it's not leaking around this hatch. Like I showed, it's raised higher. I checked up here around the chimney. Inside here, everything is dry. So that makes me wonder if it's the cover for the companionway hatch. I'm going to have to check up on top because it could be, you know, hatch slides back here. Could be leaking down in here and then running over that way and down. But that'll probably be the next thing to seal up, and it'll probably have to wait until after it's done raining. But yeah, I'm thinking that that's going to be my next project, sealing this up. The only thing I can think is there's nothing up there. Like I said, for the hatches, it raises up, so I don't think water's going uphill to get in. Next thing I can think is somewhere in here there might be a little hole or crack, or maybe where all this crappy paint is peeling off. I don't know. But that can be my next project. Well, let's see how much fun this is going to be. You know, it's got screws down the side and stuff. But something tells me it's not going to just come out. But guess I'll find out. Well, kind of surprised. It's actually, so far, coming up sort of easy. I mean, I don't know what this is, but it seems to be peeling out pretty easy. I thought maybe it's like butyl tape, but it's not. So, I don't know. Might come off easier than I was expecting. A lot of moisture still down in there, and it hasn't rained in, well, it didn't rain yesterday. It hasn't rained today. Well, over here on this side, you can actually see how, well, maybe you can see it, how this silicone actually went down and underneath. On this side, this is the stuff I'm peeling out, which seems like it was just a little bead just to cover up the top of it. And then there were a couple of spots down here that had great big gaps in it, so maybe that's where it's all coming in at. But then it's made to have moisture come in and drain out the front, so something somewhere down underneath has to be leaking through, or I'm just on a wild goose chase again. Yeah, look how easy that is. I only have one little wasp nest there, and I guess a little one over there, and part of one up there. Oh, another one up there. But I guess it's time for an eviction, huh? starting to think that judging by how much water is down in here, along with all the mud and everything, maybe it's not leaking in here. Of course, I don't know. I don't see any cracks down there either. That's what I was thinking, because it's got this little tube that goes through here and comes out the front to let the water out, and it seems like it's sealed up on this side, and I was wondering if it was leaking in on this side, but I guess not. Well, got it cleaned up, and I don't see any holes or anything. Only thing I can think is that, like, along here you got the screws that go down through, and the silicone they put in went on this side. Got a screw hole here. The silicone went right along here and then gooped out, and then got down to the next screw and it went along here and then gooped out. So it did look like any water that was on the inside of the silicone would come right around and right to the screw hole, but there was a screw in the hole, so I don't know how much water it would actually let in there. But other than that, I can't see anything up here that would let water inside. So I guess seal it up and put it back together. So after examining this cover a little bit better, you can see right here that there's just a little thin spot here that the screw goes beside. Let me get the camera pointing where my thumb is. But it's not a flat surface with the screw coming through it. And maybe that's why it wasn't sealed around the screw. I don't know. Maybe that's where it's leaking, maybe not. But I just went ahead and ran some butyl tape down there. I know it's maybe not the right way to do it, but remember who you're talking to, and remember that I plan on pulling this back off when I go to paint here and paint here. So I don't want to put good marine sealant in there just to have to rip it all back out and fight with getting silicone off or sealant off again in a couple of months. So I'm just going to put butyl tape down here on the bottom. Hopefully when the screw comes through the lid and goes in, it'll help seal around it. And then I'm going to go to every screw and put a little bit of butyl around the head of each screw as I put them in. And I still don't know if this is where it was leaking or not, but if it was leaking here, maybe it's fixed. If it wasn't leaking here, then I guess it's not fixed. Just in case anybody was wondering about this butyl tape that I'm using around here, this is the stuff I'm using. I figure, you know, it's made for mobile homes. You know how mobile homes are with tornadoes. So if this stuff can handle a tornado, it should work just fine on a boat, right? So yeah, I went ahead and, you know, even though it smashed most of it out, I put it around the screws, I put it down the sides. I didn't bother to put any across the front, because to me that's, you know, kind of pointless. It's not sealed along here to keep water out, it's sealed along here to keep water from going in where the screws are. Because what's going to stop water from coming in here to get to the same place that's right underneath where this is sealed? You know, when this is closed, all the water that lands here goes that way, which ends up underneath here. So it's not trying to keep water from getting under here. I mean, it's got that big hole in the front for it to drain out. The only thing I'm concerned about is where these screws go through, not having any go down through the screw and underneath. But like I said, at least it might be sealed up now. I'm hoping it's better than it was, but I'm still not convinced that that's where the water was coming in at. And there's the water from when I was washing it out up here. It's still sitting up here, so it's probably not leaking there, or else that water would be gone. Well, if it's not leaking from up there, the next thing downhill is the hatch here, which, yeah, it's got some dirt in there, but I don't see any like cracks or anything. Besides, the water would have to go here, then come uphill, then go over here, then come uphill again to come around and come in. I mean, might not be the greatest seal, but it's still flexible rubber seal that seals down onto here, so it's not coming up on over the top and coming in. Looked around the sides, other than dirt, I don't see anywhere where it could come in. So I guess next I'm going to pull these off and rebed them, and then rebed the two on that side and go from there. Well, you can see where there were little dabs around each screw. See, it's here on the bottom of the hinge. So it looks like these might have been sealed. But it does bring up the question, you know, you got a hole here, you got a screw that's in it. How much water can get around a screw if it is leaking? Like if you didn't put any sealant, would it be enough to notice, or just enough to make a wet spot? I don't know. I don't want to find out, so I'm going to scrape this stuff off and butyl it, but this kind of makes you wonder, you know, there is a screw, so it's not a hole this big, because there's a screw in it. So how much water it could actually come in through there? I don't know. Okay, so redid the butyl tape along the companionway cover. Redid all the hinges on the hatch. I even rebedded this string holdy thing. I forget what it's called, but I even did that. Previously, I did the grab handle, and that's pretty much everything on this side up here, other than if I go along and do all the little snap screws for the Dodger. But then I'm kind of looking at them like they're almost on a vertical surface, so how much water could be going in there? So running out of things to reseal, so hopefully it's gonna run out of places to leak at.